Good morning everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope you're all safe and well. Those of you who follow my channel, you would know that I've got a Freewing Banshee. I'm going to build it. Well, actually I'm not going to build it because there's no building to do. There's no gluing, it's all screwing. Let's look at the parts. Well, as you can see, we've got the fuselage, nice colour differential between the top and the bottom. The white on the fuselage is paint, and I like how they painted the canopy structure. So you've got the white structure, the metal parts, the cockpit. You see the logo there, Banshee, which is quite extraordinary really, because I was filming a Banshee just the other day at the flying field. Moving down, just by the nose, you've got the undercarriage. Now it is a nose wheel undercarriage. The good thing about these is that they're not titsy tiny front wheel. Then staying at the front, same level, you've got the instruction manual of course. And sitting on top of the instruction manual is an AR630. And that's the receiver I'm going to use because it gives me AS3X stabilisation and safe mode. And I'll fly it like that definitely for its maiden and maiden plus 1, 2 and 3s. And then depending on how I get on with it, I tend to swap them out. And I'll either put an AR620 in if it needs those 6 channels or more than 4 channels. If it needs 4, then I'll put in an AR410. Wings. One-piece set, ailerons and flaps already installed, set up. Then moving down on the right-hand side, we've got the tailplane and elevators. They're already linked up. Then coming along, we've got our goodie bag, shall we call it that? It hasn't got much in it. It's got a Velcro strap, a few clevises, 11 to 12 screws, and 3 lots of Y leads. I think it's 3, might be 4. Then next to that, we've got something a little bit unusual. These are plastic hinges, basically. 2-part plastic hinges with a swivel pin connecting the 2 parts. And, you know, I think you're supposed to cut your actual foam compressed hinges so that the surfaces come off, then install these. I'm just not sure whether I want to do that. I'd rather put Blenderm on the existing hinges than mess around and start re-leveling, repositioning, gluing in what actually look like quite cheap plastic hinges. And then next to that we have the fin and rudder. As you can see, servo's already in. The only thing, if I've got to complain about this, bear in mind it wasn't expensive. I think it would have been nice if they just had some sticky pieces. I think it's called sticky back plastic. That could have gone over the servos. They've gone to the level of hiding the wiring on the main wing with a green and black coloured tape, yet they left all the servos there. I don't get that. I'd understand if they did nothing, but why go and do half a job? Yeah, that's it. We'll go by the manual. Looks like the first thing we do is whack the main wings on, 5 screws, and then we join the fin to the tailplane and screw it together. I'll get this all rigged out so we can whack the wings on. One thing I recommend you do is check that your fan unit is secured. Mine is. And your speed controller is secured. Mine is. I've opened up the goodie bag and we have 4 Y leads. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 clevis and a bit of fuel tubing. Crosshead screws. They look like wood screws. I'm not particularly happy with those, but I suppose they're just screwing into plastic. Here's a good little device. It's a magnetic tray. Look at that. Totally recommend you get one if you're doing some assembly work. Got a little bit of preparations needed because we've got to put the Y leads on. This is all kept nice and tidy in there. And there we have them. But what do we have? We have flap and we have flap. And we have aileron. They've got to go onto a Y lead. Now thinking about it, this is where you've got to thread those wires. And it brings it out back there. There should be enough wire to connect your Y leads, but you're fiddling around in here. I think that hole's big enough to drop your Y leads through already connected. And that's what we're going to do. The flaps connected, and it's nice because they've got the little clips that lock these in place. Just make sure signal goes to signal, the rest will sort itself out. And it does help to try and keep them on the same side. Signal at the bottom, signal at the bottom. Lock it in. And that is a flap. This is a flap. Signal at the bottom. The signal's white on this one, it's orange on the other. Doesn't matter. You have a black, red or brown, red. It's the orange and the white you need to make sure line up, and we know the orange here is the signal. So those two go in. That's your flaps. And we do the same with ailerons. I'm going to get my tester on those. This is ailerons. So they're working. Preset. Leave those like that. Got the flaps. Now these might drop when I plug this in. Yeah. Now, I don't like those. Oh, that's better. And so one went down further than the other to start with. That could be the hinge. So they look alright now. Yep, okay. Now, so we just want to drop those all the way through. Keep going down. Get those past that. That's it. And then these should just line up. Make sure you don't trap any cables. There are holes on this part. And you can see in there, a bit bunched up. If I pull them forward, there we have the connections and the ailerons, and nothing's trapped. That's good. Now, I did test fit this. I didn't put any screws on it, but I did test fit it before I started the whole process. Now we've got to see if they line up and if the screws go in. Roll the music. All I could do with this screwdriver is get those just to start to bite into that plastic. So I'm going to have to switch to a much heftier driver. Otherwise this is going to slip out of the heads. And because it's cross screw, end of. As soon as that lifts, that's better. There we go. Right, I'm going to speed this up, play some music. Alright, wings are on. Didn't do them too tight. Checking to see if there's a gap here. And there isn't. I'm doing the same here. There's a little bit of a gap there. I'm going to tighten this side up a bit more. That's good. Right, so what I've done on this, I've added these two together, just pushed them together. One screw goes in here, and I've screwed it in as tight as I dare. You could, if you wanted to, put some foam tack or something like that before you join these two together. But that's all you do on that. It's got a single screw there holding it, but a big plate, so I don't think that needed any glue at all. Now we attach it to the fuselage. Right, this part could be fun. This is where we go and do a bit of fishing. So what they've given you is this feed wire that I have to push through from the front, and you push the wire through until you see it up here, and I can't see it. So what we're going to do, oh, it's already got stuck on something. Look at that. Wow. Not good move, people. Completely locked in. Yeah, okay, so I'll balls that up. Excuse me.
Much later.
Okay, here we are, back in the room. Here's the wire. It actually got stuck on the fan unit itself. Alright, this is my take on this. They've got it completely wrong in the manual. The main wings have to go on last. And that will allow you to hook up your servo leads from your tail, drag them one at a time through into the front fuselage, because you have to get them past these connectors and above this piece of ply, and it's going to be so much easier to control with the wings off. This feed has to be high. What I mean by that is it should not be in here like it's trying to do now. I've got to go above these and above this board, and the wire at the moment is trying to come down. So if I pull that back, push it, that's it. Right, so you can't see it, but the wire's here. We've got to do that exercise 3 times. Now that's on the basis that this will slide through easily. And maybe we can do more than one at a time. It doesn't give you any instructions about this. That's 1. 2. 3. Let's see what happens. I don't think this will work. No, you can't do them 3 at a time. You have to do them 1 at a time. Well, FMS sure don't make them like this. Right, rudders first. Right, we're keeping that up. That's it, that's 1. You can also see what's happened here is I've come through that bundle. So let's open that bundle up. That's it. That's it. I don't know how I got through that. But there is our rudder. Now I'm guessing, and I'll do it just so it stays at this end, I'm going to put that on a wire lead. Let's clip that in there. Okay. I got it wrong. It's that way. Don't forget to check signal to signal. That's it. Oh, that's one end. This is really not easy. And I've got to make sure that it goes Yeah, that's better. It did it this time. Above the speed controller. Right, we got it. Let's put another Y lead on that, because it will need one. Signal to signal. Accelerator. One more time, then we can screw it down. Personally, I think that's the better way of doing it. Take your wings off. Don't put the wings on first. I should say, not take them off, but don't put them on first. So that's another elevator, and that goes onto this Y lead. And signal to signal. That's it. Right, now I can pull those wires through manually, such as rudder. Take up some of that slack that you see here at the tail. So I'm going to pull the rudder through. There we are. And the others, pull them back a bit. There. This has 4 pegs it goes over, and that's it. Nice. Nice fit. There, that's better. That's how it should be. If you're getting one of these, and I know they've been around for a while now, don't put the wings on first. Put the tail surfaces on, feed those wires through, then do the wings. Makes the job so much easier. Right, next thing is to whack the wheels on. Okay, here's our wheel bag. Medic! Okay, here's our wheel bag. Let's get this open. It just says FW for Freewing on the wheels. As you can see, the front one has quite a bit of clearance between the spring and the wheel, so should I need to make it bigger, I can in fact go up to the size of the main gear, and I could make the main gear even larger, and that's nice when you've got a grass field. Let's pop this on. It goes in here at the front, and it will only go in one way because it's got a cutout on it. That's a good hefty front wheel. Right, let's put the mains on, and they point outwards. So we've got this one here. I guess that just clips in like that. That's good. Got to be careful because I've got a lot of blood on my left hand. I'll have to go in and put a plaster and wash it all up in a minute. There you go. Now they're quite free. That's nice. But this front one isn't. But it's an easy fix because they're all set up the same. I mean, it's a bit crude, but it's an easy fix. So the collet and grommet on the front wheel, I'll loosen it, move the collar down the axle a little bit, tighten it, and it'll free up that front one. So that's really quite bad. It just needs a bit of space.
5 minutes later.
Job done. Right, there she is. That didn't take long, did it? Unfortunately, got a bit of blood smudged on the white paint. I'm going to get a cloth to wipe that down, and then I'm going to go and stop this bleeding. It says it's for a 2200. I've got a 2900 in it, right up against this bulkhead here, and it balances out beautifully. Slightly nose heavy. Okay, it hasn't got a receiver in it yet, but the weight of the receiver won't make much difference. And because of the cutouts here, this fits perfectly. What they've done is they've marked the centre of gravity on the underside of the wing, here and here. Well, you don't measure a low wing aircraft this way, and you balance it that way. So what I'll be doing, I'll be going vertically down where the CG marker is, and if they've got the measurement, I'll actually measure it, and I'll put markers and a cocktail stick on the actual wing top. So it does show the centre of gravity from the wing root here back. So I'll measure it and check that it comes where it's shown underneath. Poke a few cocktail sticks through, job done. I like the dogtooth wing on it. I love the decals. Dogtooth is here, by the way, in case you can't see it, black on black. And on the other wing there. So that's in. Now, I said they give you another strap. This battery is only just being held on at this end, but there is another cutout on the board here, which will allow me to put the second strap through. Now I'll try and feed it through myself without taking the board off, but if I have to, I'll lift the board up. And I'm planning to put the AR630 flat in the back here. Plenty of room. Fitting the second strap, the spare strap, and I've noticed it is much longer. If I bring those to the same, you can see it's much longer than the strap that was there. So my thinking is it's not a spare strap, it's the strap for the 6S model, and you just have to swap it out. Now the good thing about this, it's really easy to swap out because the battery board's held on with 4 screws. I'm taking it off because I will be using both these straps with a 2900 in this instead of a 2200. And what I want to do while it's out, I want to use this shelf lining material, put it on there, and I'm going to do that now. Okay, here's the board. So you can see I've got the shelf lining on it now. It's covering up this hole, but I don't need that. So I've got this hole and this hole I've cut free. Put the bigger strap in that came with it. If I have to put a bit of padding under there, I will. Put the screws through the holes. I've just got to screw this in down on the fuselage, back whence it came. There we are. There we are. 2 straps, anti-slip. So there it is. Freewing Banshee 64mm EDF 4S. Thanks for watching, stay safe, stay well, and I look forward to you coming and joining me on another video soon. Cheers.